Why is this pouring funny? Don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves. It's fine.
No, please. The pouring of the tea is very riveting.
The pouring of the tea is I feel it's like a ritual now.
The tea ceremony, if you will.
Yes. I don't know. I was trying to make it one word, like ceremony. It sounds like a terrible matrimony or something. I don't know.
The Japanese call the tea ceremony cha no yu.
Cha no yu. I think you told me this before because I feel like I remember thinking cha no yu. Like the way I would remember it is like this is mine, not yours. Cha no yu.
Or it could be like a retort. Cha no you.
They'd say. I think the Japanese would. I think they'd be amused by me, and I think that they would say.
I think they would find you infinitely amusing.
They'd say, he said the right words, but his inflection and his facial expression is really weird.
I think English people say that about you too.
Yes, that they do, but you can't trust the English.
That's true. Certainly, the Irish would agree with you on that.
But not all the Irish. Just.
Well, that's what they say, but
just the real Irish. I learned from some Brits this week that if I was to say to you, "Oh, that person is quite attractive,"
yeah, I know where we're going with this.
To say, I think the most people, at least Americans, to say quite attractive. As opposed to just saying attractive means more attractive.
Right. Quite means very, almost. Not quite severe, severe, but it's there. Yeah, it's
like
more
remarkably
than a baseline
it's
attractiveness.
Right. It's worth giving it the plus.
Mm-hmm.
The British, on the other hand, when they say quite, they actually mean less.
Yeah, sorta. It's kind of
like,
but it's in the inflection though. It's in the inflection because I've heard like somebody if they're talking about a certain brand of tea or something and they sort of like it, they would say I quite like it. Whereas if they did actually like it, they'd say I quite like that.
I don't think they say quite though. I think
they
would
do.
Just say,
they do. I have heard it anyway.
Oh my God.
But they are the only ones that I am aware of that use it also in that sort of, I sort of like it. I halfway like it. I can't like it. Yeah. It took me forever. Like when I was a kid growing up, I was watching a lot of like Monty Python's Flying Circus. It would come on MTV at like 10:30 at night or whatever, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Sure. And because I already knew about Monty Python through Holy Grail, and I was like, oh my God, there's a whole TV show of this stuff. And so of course I devoured it like a ravenous man. And there were times when that would come up and I was like, that's strange. He just said he very much liked that thing, but he's acting like he kind of really sort of like it, but not really. Mm-hmm. That was very confusing to me. And
then, so how did you settle it out? I mean, what did you settle on?
I think eventually I was just like, it must mean a different thing over there. Because so many more things that were different, would show up, and I was like, okay, I'm obviously dealing with
wink, wink, nudge, 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 nudge. Wink, wink,
say no more, say no more. Yeah. Yeah, it was just sort of more and more obvious that, was it Churchill that said that England and America are two countries separated by a common language?
Two countries, yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I think I started sort of coming to that realization because there were so many sort of cultural things that didn't seem to mean the thing that they meant over here. But
so that happened this week, and then I thought to myself, well, now I need to try to remember all the times that they said they used the word quite.
Right. and then retroactively apply this new
were they insulting me?
To it.
Were they insulting me? That's the question. I think we're all asking ourselves now.
Yeah.
Have they been insulting us all this time? And I think their answer would be only you. Jason.
Clearly, yeah.
Only. Speaking of moist, going back, so the night is moist. It's from Throw Mama from the Train.
Oh, it has been a long time since I've
seen
that
trying to
movie.
figure out the opening to the story.
That's a good opening.
Was damp? No. Night was wet? No. Night. Yeah. The night was moist. Yes. And I don't want to dwell on the subject, but while we're on the subject of moist, I do think it's worth talking about Humid Legs.
Which is my favorite Frank Zappa album.
Is it really? No, not really. It should be.
Absolutely, it should be.
Yes. God, I hate it. Sometimes I just don't know. Most of the time, I just don't know what you're like. He's mocking me. You're mocking me, aren't you?
Just go with. Yeah, I quite enjoy it.
So wait, do you really enjoy it, or do you not really enjoy it? I don't know. So okay,
Humid Legs.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm worried that there's I know that there's a line we're not supposed to cross when in these conversations.
That line is imposed by you. I don't.
I feel like we're probably. I don't think I'm stepping over. I may be dancing around it, but I'm not going to be stepping over it. I don't think. I mean, I've talked about the pregnancy pillow.
It's true.
Oh! Speaking of the pregnancy pillow, we'll come back to the Humid Legs. For those of you who this is the first episode you're listening to. This is going to make a lot more sense if you go back.
I think it's called The Item. Is the title?
They're like, I'm out.
The titular item is, in fact, the pregnancy pillow.
So the pregnancy pillow still lives. It still resides on top of the dog crate that's on my side of the bed.
As all of your ideas go to die.
The other things are right. And I don't know what else to do with it. Like, where do I put it?
U-shaped pillow.
It's ginormous. Where do I? It's like the size of a human being. Where do I put this thing? Like I don't want to throw it away, because what if like at some point I'm like, I want to try that again.
And the last thing people want to do is buy a used pregnancy pillow. That's just gross.
Somebody might. I could use this as a giveaway. I could use this as a giveaway.
You need to get some way of branding it. This is the Here with the Magic pregnancy pillow.
Oh no, this would totally be an accidentally derivative.
Okay, hey, I'll send you a patch and you can sew it on there.
Dude, send me a box big enough to hold this thing. I need one of those vacuum pack things. So
it's the possum pregnancy pillow. It's some alliteration going there. That'd be perfect.
So I can't put it in the guest room because what if I forget to then hide it again when guests come and then they're like,
and then there's some questions you just don't want to answer.
How am I supposed to use this?
Well, first you get.
Well, if you have to ask, if you have to ask,
when a man and a woman love each other very much.
How far upstream do I go? So, okay. So this pregnancy pillow persists. It's still there. So, the house cleaning people. I know you're not. That's a foreign subject to you, but we have people.
we have people around here.
We have people who. Well, you do it yourself, right?
Right. Yes. We are more down to earth.
Yes.
But we have people for this.
We went all through the pandemic period when basically essentially almost 2 years without having those folks. I thought they had written us off, but apparently they'll come back.
That's good.
And I think this is the second time we've had them back since felt it was comfortable having virtual strangers. Anyway,
they're coming with cleaning products, so that's a pretty optimal situation.
They do,
except that's for true. All of the things that probably bother you about it. But
that's right, exactly. So
they're breathing on the bleach.
Michelle discovered this, and God bless Michelle again. I said this last week. God bless Michelle. I'm going to say it again. She put in such an effort. I know she did. She didn't draw attention to it. She didn't, point it out. I guess that's the same thing as drawing attention. She didn't. She just did it, and by did it, I mean she restored just about everything back to normal. So one of the things that I don't like about it's not that I don't like cleaning people. They're fine people. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm talking about the village people saying the cleaning people. It's like I don't want us to call.
Sounds like there's a chore you don't like. I don't like cleaning people.
I don't. In case anyone's asking or wondering.
I don't. This is not surprising.
As a rule, right? But the one thing I don't like, one of the things I don't like is that, well, number one, there's strangers in my house. So that's right off the bat, that's bad. Number two, I have to vacate. I have to get out of my space.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Disrupts my day and everything. Fine. Because I'm not having to clean, which is great. It's a good trade-off. But the thing that almost makes it not worth it is having to hide all the things that I don't want them to touch.
Right.
Right. For example, like in the bathroom, all of the stuff. I have to stick it away someplace. Like the brush, everything, toothbrush, of course. Oh, so Michelle had put all of her stuff away ahead of me. Usually I do it first. She did it first but last time she got annoyed that I did it first because I took all the good spots. And so she didn't have any spots left. So she did hers first this time, except she left, in her little toothbrush holder was her toothbrush and my toothbrush. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, oh, you put all your stuff away, but you didn't put the toothbrush away. So I took my toothbrush out. Then I put it away, and I left her toothbrush right there.
You left hers?
Because I felt like it was intentional. She put all the other things away. Like maybe she's still going to brush her teeth or something. It's not. Well, apparently she didn't ever put it away. No, and that night I said to her, I said, you left your toothbrush out. She says, I know. Gross. I know. I was like, who knows what they sprayed on that?
What is it did you think these people are doing?
Have you seen Seinfeld?
Yeah, this is what you're basing this on?
I don't know. They've got cleaning products around the thing that you put in your mouth. They don't belong together. I don't want them touching it.
I think they're careful about that kind of thing.
I can't know that. I don't like it in a hotel when you have your room attendant or whatever you call them. They will rearrange the things on the bathroom counter. Have you ever had that happen where they will rearrange things and they'll bring some order to it? But it's their order, and they'll do some things that just don't make sense to me. Like for example, you have two glasses in there, two glasses on the counter for drinking water out of the tap, like an animal apparently, and they will use one of the glasses to put toothbrushes in.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Do you really think that I didn't think of that idea? That's brilliant. Glasses sitting right there. I should use one as a toothbrush holder. No, don't use that as a toothbrush holder in case I actually want to use the glass. Now I've got one glass and I'm going to have to share it.
Yes, they did that specifically to insult you. They thought that you weren't smart enough to come up with that on your own, and you needed help.
Or when
That's certainly the way to interpret that.
When they fold the Kleenex, like in a Kleenex box, they'll fold the Kleenex to make that little triangle thing.
In the Kleenex box? I've never seen it do
Kleenex
that.
box.
I've seen it on the toilet paper rolls.
Well, they'll do it there too, but they'll also do it in the Kleenex box.
I've never seen it for the Kleenex box. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, and even with the toilet paper, I don't do that. Don't do that. Just leave it alone. Like, I don't need to be reminded that another human being was here. Period. Not much less touching something that I'm about to put on my face. Like, don't remind me of that. Don't do that. Okay. So anyway, back to my bathroom. All the stuff I had to put all the stuff away. So that's annoying, right? And then because then I have to remember when I pull it back out at the end of the day, like, where do I usually put this? Where's this? And then like 2 days later, I think to myself, wait, what? Why? Like, where's that? Oh, that's right, I put it away. Or I go to use, like, shaving gel for my hair or something. It's just it's in the wrong spot. So there's that. Okay. So anyway, but that's the only one part of it. The other part is, like, they'll move things and not move them back. They'll unplug things and not plug them back in. They'll switch light switches and stuff, and now that's all messed up. Switches that control plugs. You're familiar with this, and
painfully,
especially if you have a lighting system that's connected to like a smart home type thing, and now it's like a whole ordeal. They would sometimes use some kind of like polisher on some kind of thing on the refrigerator, like a metal polish. I don't know, but it would make it slippery. The handle would be, not only would the handle be slippery, I could feel it on my hands afterwards, but then if it was bitter to the taste. Yes, because I could taste it when I put food in my mouth.
Okay.
So then I'd have to go by. So then afterwards, I'd have to go by and clean. I would have to then clean the handle.
Well, that does seem bad that they have not wiped off the whatever that stuff is. No, they put in the fridge.
I think it's on there deliberately. It's like on there to make it like look nice. It's like metal polish or something. Right? So we put an end to that, I think, or maybe not. Maybe Michelle just took care of it. Then that's what I'm getting to. That she somehow restored order to just about everything.
Oh, okay.
I'm hard pressed.
Considering your soliloquy up to this point, I can't imagine what would possibly have motivated her to.
And Marcus, well, like, because it's her decision to get the cleaning village people, and and so I will, and she knows that if I'm irritated by something, I will look at her and and it'll be like that. It'll be like that scene from a Christmas Story where he's like, "You used up all the glue on purpose. Like, you did this to me." And so I said to her, "Wow, you got everything back like how it was." And she responds, I tried. "I'm sure you'll find something." That's what she says. Right? So there's that. But then she says to me, she's telling me at this point now, she's telling me the things that she did. Like, one of which was, she said they made the bed or something, and they remade the bed. I don't know, because we make the bed, but anyway. And they remade the bed with the pregnancy pillow, and apparently the yoga. What would they call that pillow? The yoga pillow thing, the bolus.
Yoga pillow.
Bolus. I don't know. Anyway, yoga pillow. Yeah, it's a yoga pillow. They made with that, and all I could think to myself is, God, what are they thinking?
Right.
Like, what are they imagining this is used for? Like,
so I'm assuming it was just kind of on there and not like in some form of decoration like they do on a cruise ship or something.
Would that be amazing if they turned it into
awesome?
Oh, look, it's a swan.
It's your pregnancy pillow, and I've made an elephant out of it.
Which wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, that's kind of the first thing that came to my mind.
Basically, it's like a trunk. Yeah, exactly. So okay. So the pregnancy pillow thing. This is the same. I think this was like the same. No, maybe this wasn't the same day. Anyway, the pregnancy pillow thing was moved back to its proper spot temporarily-ish on top of the dog crate.
It's temporary, permanent.
But now it's not in the same. It's not in the same configuration as it was.
Oh, no.
It's all the dangly bits, and I can't figure out what to do. And I don't want to annoy Luna because she wants to go. That's where she goes into sleep after she snuggles a little bit, and then she goes into sleep there. And I don't want. But I can't have it blocking because I don't want her to be like, "What's this? What's the deal with this thing?"
I'm not pregnant.
Like, why is this in my way?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other night, I get in bed. I get into bed. Michelle's already in bed. I get into bed. I scooch Luna out of the way, and Sophie is on my pillow, of course, as usual. And I get under the covers. And I don't sleep with pajama pants on. I do have the boxer shorts things on. Yeah. But I not,
you have pajama tops on and no bottoms?
No, I don't do that either. No, I can't. I don't want to. I can't.
That was a humorous image.
Oh, it's an. I wear a night
just
shirt.
Pajama tops.
A night shirt. That's
what. It's like a Ebenezer Scrooge one that goes down to like your ankles.
Yes. God, all I can imagine is I get tangled in that thing. Like I can't get out.
Why did people wear hats when they went to sleep? By the way,
I think because it was cold. I think it was cold, so you.
But that hat ain't keeping you warm, and why does it go all the way down like your butt? It's like a big old long weird Santa hat that they would wear in the bed.
Captures extra heat.
So bizarre. Anyway,
yeah. What's the benefit of that?
That would drive me absolutely insane.
Is it real? Was it really a thing?
I have to assume. Because you see it depicted in a lot of like Victorian whatever, and nightcap, isn't that what that is?
A nightcap. I thought that was we had a drink.
Well,
at night.
I think that became a euphemism for a drink. Yeah,
makes sense.
You put it on before you go to bed, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like people get dressed up to go to sleep, and that's very weird.
Don't even get me started about the Downton Abbey Gilded Age dress for whatever thing. I can't. Man. That always. Can you imagine?
Is it black tie? Is it white tie? Is it orange tie?
I feel like their life is so much of the normal stuff is just done for them that they have to layer that on
to make it seem like they're like justifying it in some way,
like something to do. Yeah, like I need my valet to pull my clothes out for the drinks I'm about to have. Like, really? And why does he have to help you dress?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, can you not dress yourself? I mean, seriously.
Think about the opening sequence with the credits and everything when they show the one guy with like the board with the little notches on it, trying to figure out to make sure that the fork is 3 millimeters away. No,
that's serious. No, that's you have to take serious.
Clearly, you got to arrange this bizarre Stonehenge of cutlery around everybody's plates, and it's just
serious stuff.
So, anyway.
It's a real deal. So I get into bed under the covers, pull the covers up, and Michelle enters into like cuddle mode, right? Which is, and I'm not usually like, that's not usually a problem. Usually the dogs won't let her even get to me. So the only part of her body that has a fighting chance at this early stage in the evening because of the dog situation are her legs.
Yeah.
Okay. So the legs come over to my side. Hello, legs. And I say to her, Your legs are humid. It's like humid.
The honeymoon is over.
She says, I put lotion on them. Like she lotioned them or something, right? Like, which she must not do every day because this is not like we've been married since 1996.
This is atypically humid. These legs.
I had never experienced this, and like I do appreciate novelty in the bedroom, but this is weird. Like this is, I I said to her, I can't. I can't. It's just
to nope out of the situation.
Get up to your side. Don't make me pull the pregnancy pillow in me.
The humidity of these legs is above my level of tolerance.
I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. It was just wet. It's like wet. It's wet. It's wet.
It's like a Brazilian rainforest in here.
It was like, yes. It's like, I can't have this.
That's it. Geez, Sean Connery's trying to find the cure for cancer in your legs running around. That's obscure film reference.
That's a great. The Medicine Man. That was Medicine Man. Nice.
With Lorraine Bracco.
Okay. I don't remember her. I remember him.
The psychiatrist from the Sopranos.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that. That was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I like it a lot.
Not a great ending, but
most people don't even realize it even happened.
Well, that part of the rainforest is gone. That's why.
It's true. So. I tried to visit the set where they shot it, and they're like, "Sorry, no."
Oh, that's a parking lot.
We slashed it. No.
Paved paradise. So that happened. That was the moistness situation. That I referred
Humid
to.
legs.
I think I sent you a pin about that. I think
you did indeed, and I knew that was going to be an interesting one. That's why I gave the little thoughtful emoji as a response.
This morning I'm out for a walk, and I'm coming down this stretch. Ironically, the stretch. I say ironically, but now I'm wondering whether this is some Lost-like phenomenon where most of the weird things happen in this stretch of my walk. Like, this is the same spot where I almost got killed because of the bike rider and the situation with that neighbor who walks on the wrong side and doesn't cross over. Remember? Mm-hmm. This is that stretch. This is the stretch where I saw that guy fall down.
Right. Is this the place where the lightning storm almost killed you?
That's several places. But
well,
no,
sure.
That was. This is just a spot where there's a lot of weird stuff that happens here. And today I'm walking, and up ahead I see this woman walking towards me, and I see that she kind of trips. She kind of stumbles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but she did, and she's probably a good. I'm a terrible judge for space, but like in terms of distance, but I don't know, probably 50 yards away.
Okay.
Ish, maybe a little less than that.
Decent amount of distance.
Decent amount, but not. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that terrible. Whatever. So. My immediate thought is, look down, look down, look down, look down, look down.
You didn't notice it? You didn't see it?
Just avert your eyes, right? Because if I'm her, like the first thing I'm imagining she does after she stumbles and kind of like steadies herself, because she didn't fall down. It wasn't like I was ignoring her, but she stumbled, and then I know she's going to look up to see
who just saw me do that.
Right, and if she sees me looking straight ahead, she's going to rightly assume that I saw it happen.
Right, and are trying to act like you didn't.
Well, now it raises the question: like, what's my role here? Do I have some responsibility to acknowledge what happened? Like, I saw that happen. Are you okay? Do I make a jokey joke like, "Hey, nice save"? Do I? What do I do? It's like, I feel like I have, and on her side, she has to kind of acknowledge, really, like, we can't just let that go unsaid, unaddressed. Like, you stumbled, and I saw it, and aren't you embarrassed a little bit? And so by averting my eyes before she sees me, then now. We don't have to. I feel like we don't have to have that situation.
Right. Yeah.
So then, I do it by I do the the whole thing. This is the walk equivalent of the store phone call. the walk equivalent of the in-store phone call. Whereas if you're in a store and you don't want a salesperson to bother you, you're just on the phone.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm on the phone. I'm talking to somebody. I have all sorts of imaginary conversations with people. Mm-hmm. If I am in the situation here where it works with neighbors, it works all sorts of people. In-laws,
hey, you did that at dinner the other night.
Anyway, it works. It's great. You never know. No one can never know. Except people who know me well enough to know that I never answer the phone, in which case...
Right.
Then they're like...
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it for a second.
Like, hey, you're not talking to anybody. You don't answer the phone. What are you doing?
I don't even think your phone works.
You're funny. So she looks up... So the walk equivalent is you still use your phone, but now you're looking at your phone.
Right, yeah.
Hey, I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at my phone and I'm walking, and now I'm going to look up because I'm finished looking at my phone.
Right.
And now she's already looking at me, and now we're closer, of course, and she strides by with this big smile on her face, and it says good morning, and all is well, and all is bright with the world.
Uh-huh.
And we just keep on going by. And then I thought, she knows that I saw, but she is thanking me for the courtesy of
sparing her
saving
from that.
Yeah. There was almost this acknowledgement of thank you for not making a big deal about this. I'm mortified, of course, but I appreciate the averted eyes because now we don't have to have that thing. I know that's what she was thinking. I'm sure of it.
Well, you provide another invaluable service to the community.
I feel like I should get where are those social credits we're supposed to be getting.
Yeah, it was something kind of like a video game accomplishment badge. A little pa-ting, well done.
Okay, well, so speaking of the well done social merits and things like that, I don't know if you saw Monday night and the nonsense that I was dealing with on Monday night.
Yeah, the rain.
The deluge.
Because literally the two of the parks were flooded out.
I mean, I've experienced severe rainstorms here. I've experienced major giant drops of rain just pouring from the sky and winds and craziness, and I've experienced all that very aggressive weather here in Florida since we've lived here. Mm-hmm. I've never experienced that kind of weather for such a sustained period of time when it wasn't a hurricane.
Right. Yeah.
Like this was not just ginormous drops of rain coming down hard and fast, but the wind picked up and the wind was blowing. So the rain. So if you're using your umbrella, and I had my giant umbrella with me, if you're using your umbrella, I had to hold it sort of horizontally. Yeah. To block me and the camera because I'm doing the live thing from Epcot, and that's the context of this, and I'm this is insane, and I'm trapped, and my plan was because I parked out at the boardwalk with the intent of, and I walked from the boardwalk all the way through Epcot to the main entrance, the entrance plaza, which is 17 miles away.
Yeah, no kidding.
And my plan was then to start there and then make my way during the show all the way back around World Showcase Lagoon and then back to the boardwalk. And it'll be lovely. It's going to be a lovely evening.
Yeah.
Great evening. Okay. I'm trapped now up front. I'm other than these joyful but probably crazy young ladies who are essentially dancing in the rain and posing in it and taking pictures of each other in the midst of the lightning and stuff. Sure. I'm the only other person who's not fleeing the park, it seems, at this point, in the entrance plaza. And I'm live, and I'm stuck because I'm under the area where you come through when you're tapping in with your band or something. I'm in that area at this point.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, I have to wait until the winds die down at least because I can't leave here. Because I'm not going to stop the live, of course. So I can't leave here and not have like either the gimbal and the phone get soaked or the umbrella just get torn, not torn, but like inverted because that happened once already that night. So I'm just waiting it out. In the midst of all of that, Zach shows up. Coming to the rescue, ostensibly. Okay. He shows up with his umbrella, which is a good sized umbrella, but not as big as my umbrella, which of course I pointed out to him. And he has towels with him. Yes, because I think I made a joke about I need a towel or whatever. So he has, of course it's Zach, so he has towels. Somehow they're dry. Yeah. I don't know like how, I don't know. They were also warm, so maybe I kind of know how they, but anyway, I get the towels. Okay, Zach's here. It's fun, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, where did you park? Where do you think? At the boardwalk. Yeah, at the boardwalk.
So, no reprieve there.
I think, okay, so you launched a rescue mission to extract us from the furthest place away. Like, I said, why didn't you park in the main parking lot, right? Like 50 feet behind us. I knew you parked at the boardwalk. Okay. Well, I guess we're both walking to the boardwalk now. Like this is what we're gonna do. Okay. And I think he also thought, and maybe he thought or didn't. I don't know if he thought I didn't have an umbrella or maybe it was broken. I'm not sure. I don't think he really stuck around to find out how well equipped I was. I think he heard somebody say, maybe you should go save Jason. He was like, yes, I'm off. Right. Here I am.
So you weren't expecting him that night?
Not at all. No, that was not a staged. That was not a stage. That was just like him showing. This is Zach. He just showed. He's like.
So he sees there's a problem and this is a job for Zach, and he springs into action after seeing you in distress on a Facebook Live broadcast
and goes.
That's fantastic.
Except that he drove to the boardwalk.
Well.
I parked there, and then he. I don't know how he walked. He walked from the border in the midst of the storm. Well, from the border all the way up to the front of Epcot, like I had already done, but I did it when it was dry, and only to have to repeat it. And he brought the towels, and he brought the umbrella. Okay, now we're off. We're gonna start the Instagram Live, and now we're gonna like move on through because the wind has died down enough that we can walk and go. And here we go. Okay, now he has his umbrella. I have my umbrella and the gimbal, and we're going to go together. Here we go. Okay. We're making progress. It was you saw the flooding. It was more than ankle deep in many places. The worst of
crazy.
The worst. It was like probably a third of the way up to almost halfway up to my knee in one spot. Like it was deep. Yeah.
It surprises me that Epcot can flood like that, considering the lagoon is like right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's this. The water is now displaced by the contraptions out there, so there's that. But they. So the other thing that Zach was doing. So as we're walking along, he would disappear all of a sudden. I'm like, where did he go? Oh, he's clearing the grates. He's clearing like the leaves and the pine needles from the drainage grates.
Right.
So that they'll drain.
Okay. Yeah. Not sure that was the problem, but yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, it was covering it, maybe slowing. It was definitely slowing it down, right?
I think the problems were a bit more structural than.
I don't know. I don't know fluid dynamics very well, but I think it's okay. So he does it a few times. Like, okay, great. Okay, so then that was fine and good guy. And
that's that civic duty that we've talked about.
Totally,
yeah,
absolutely
laudable.
So we keep going, and I'm sure there were other things, but at some point, we get to, we're like around, we had gone into Mexico, and then we came out of Mexico, and we're on our way to Norway, I think. It's like Norway, China-ish. And he walks over to somebody who's in a wheelchair. There's like somebody pushing somebody in a wheelchair. And, the water is like several inches deep, a few inches deep. Someone's pushing somebody in a wheelchair. And he walks over to them. And I'm trying to, also walk and not get blown away and cover the gimbal and be live and everything. And so I'm sort of paying attention to what he's doing. But I'm a little, but I'm like, where is he going again? Mm-hmm. So he comes back. And we walk a little bit more. And then I realize he doesn't have his umbrella anymore. I said, where's your umbrella? You gave your umbrella to that person? He said, yeah, they're in a wheelchair. You gave the umbrella. So in the midst of all this happening, of course, I'm live, and so I'm saying, it was like Zach, nice, such a nice guy. Like, I'll never be as nice. This is true. I'll never be as nice as Zach. I will never be as nice as Zach.
You did not have to tell me that.
But I'm here to tell you that sometimes you shouldn't be, because so this happens, and I'm live. So I wish, no, I don't. I don't know whether anybody would want to know the thoughts that go through my mind while I'm live, like the dialogue that's happening. But the dialogue,
but I don't know that anyone.
But let me give you a little insight into the dialogue that was happening at this moment. If you ever want to go back and juxtapose this with that moment,
you do a little recorded voiceover on it.
Yeah, because it would be like pop-up video or pop-up. So this happens. I mentioned how what a nice guy he is, yada yada yada, such a mensch, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, now he has no umbrella. Mm-hmm. I have this giant umbrella. I'm now the schmuck carrying a giant umbrella, not sharing it with the person I'm walking with. Mm-hmm. But I can't, because I have to hold it at an angle to keep the rain from hitting me sideways.
Right.
Like, there's no way for us to even though it's 6 feet across. This thing is bigger. It's literally bigger than me. I think there's a picture of it somewhere. I can't share it because it's shielding me. And it has to.
And
I have
you
to
get
use
the gimbal and the whatnot.
The gimbal thing, right? But he can't do it. He can't hold the umbrella for me because the way the way the rain is hitting, he would have to be sort of in front of me,
right?
To make it effective, and then no one would be able to see anything happening.
Right. And besides that, he would have to move when you move, and there's
it's the whole thing.
Yeah,
if you ever shared an umbrella with somebody, it's
difficult.
It's hard. It's hard, right? Unless you're standing still at a funeral or something.
Or if it's a very light rain, it's all coming down, and everybody's fine with just things straight up, and we're walking in a straight line at a constant pace.
But it still has to be someone you know well enough
into it. It gets awkward fast.
Right. So, right. So this is happening, and it's occurring to me that everyone's watching him get just completely soaked. Well, I'm perfectly dry. Also, that he's getting this wonderful credit for having given his umbrella to the person in the wheelchair. And then it occurs to me, how exactly is a person in a wheelchair supposed to use the umbrella? Like, the person pushing the wheelchair can't use it because they need both hands to push the wheelchair through deep water. Mm-hmm. The person in the wheelchair can't hold it because they're going to hit the person in the head who's pushing the wheelchair.
Maybe.
The way the rain is coming, the angular, there's no way that this is actually going to really be that beneficial, right? So I'm like, okay, so yeah, that was nice. I also don't know what. Okay, don't. The hate mail will come. I'm going to say it anyway, but I don't understand what.
Gmail.com.
There are thousands of people in this park. most of which did not have an umbrella.
Right.
Okay. I don't understand why this person somehow was the most deserving person. I think of all the people we saw up until that point, how that person became the person who gets the umbrella. I'm like, I don't know how this is decided. Like, how did it? Because they're in a wheelchair? Like, they can't get wet? Like, I don't know. I understand. Like, why? Like, maybe. I gotta understand that the wheelchair's broken. Let's carry them. I get it. Okay, yes, I'm with you. Like, person is, they just got married. They're in their wedding gown. Yes, give them an umbrella. Get it? Yes.
I think it was to allow the person in the wheelchair to use the umbrella as a sort of sail. There was a lot of wind.
That would probably be the most effective.
And then they'd be able to sort of propel themselves more quickly toward the entrance to get out of there.
Yes, and singing Moana. I know the way.
Right.
Yes. Away, away.
Yeah,
yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, I love that song.
We know the way. I thought you too. That's gonna be in my head all night. So that is all going through my head. Like, wow, like he gave his umbrella away. He gave it to. How are they gonna use it? How is this? I look like a schmuck. Like, he's soaked. What's going on? Why? And now, at this point, and the towels he was carrying, they're soaked. The towels are now soaked because he has no means to keep them dry because he's given the umbrella away. So as the lightning comes, when the lightning begins to come, which I'm sure is coming because of the thoughts that I'm having.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
And we seek shelter.
The universe is saying, hey.
we seek shelter in the African trading post, which is like the worst possible place to try to seek shelter. We found this overhang.
Mexico. What are you doing?
We found this overhang to hide under, where there's like a waterfall in front of us, and I'm just looking, and he's like a wet rat at this point. Like it's sad. It's just sad. A wet puppy. Maybe that's more appropriate for Zach. But like, I'm thinking, like, what are we going to do here now? And he has his towels. They're just soaked. And then the next.
So he has them out. They're not in like a backpack or anything like that?
Well, no, because he didn't have a backpack.
I don't know.
No. At this
guy
point,
came with an umbrella.
At this point, I'm thinking, this is kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark now. This is the other thought that's going through my head now. While we're huddled behind this waterfall, avoiding the lightning strikes, I'm thinking this is sort of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where essentially, like, Indiana Jones could have never shown up, and you still get the same ending.
Oh, yes.
Nothing ever changes. I mean, maybe they don't even find it if Indiana doesn't exist because they were digging in the wrong place. Yeah, because
he's the one that found out where it was and they ended up getting it.
Right. So the best case scenario for the Nazis, which is always a fun game to play, they end up with their faces melting. Spoiler alert. Sorry, but spoiler alert. They end up with their faces melting regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can say that if Indiana Jones found the correct place for the Ark and the Nazis did get the Ark, then at least he facilitated the Nazi melting. Well, the Nazi melting.
That's true.
I mean, if they didn't find the Ark, they wouldn't have melted.
Good point. That's good. That's a good point. It wasn't like all the Nazis melted. Right. Yeah.
Well,
which is nice.
All the Nazis there, at least, either melted or got.
Which is really how you want your Nazis
through the chest.
Is to be melted or lightning.
Melted or lightning kebabbed.
Yes, or both is fine too. That's
hey.
Good.
Might as well cover all your bases.
Cover, that's right. And so it occurs to me that this is like this because, not the Nazis part, but the ending just being kind of a foregone conclusion. Don't cross those streams. Because Zach is now, he's just here. He's just here in the rain. Like, I'm in the same place I would have been in, like, regardless. Like, I have my umbrella and my gimbal and my knee-high water. and really haven't accomplished anything. And I'm thinking, and this is why I'm going to get struck by lightning, because I'm having these thoughts in the moment. My buddy is standing here, soaked, shivering, wondering whether he's going to drown in Epcot.
This is technically a net loss now.
And all I can think of is, why are you here now? Like you gave it all your stuff away. Like,
but the intentions were so
the intentions.
Good.
I know that's the thing. It's like, and it's, but it's like dripping with good intentions, literally and figuratively. Because, like, and I want to think,
that's some humid legs right there.
Say, like, buddy, like, at some point you have to stop being nice. Like what? Because you
what
can't.
What kind of message is that?
It's a message I think everybody needs to learn, though, because when you get to the point where you have been so nice that you now have distributed all the resources you have to be helpful, it's a problem. Like, his phone, his wallet was, because he's just wet. I mean, it's like you're literally in the shower, like, for a long period of time, for an hour. Imagine being in the shower in your clothes for an hour. And not just a shower where the drain stopped up, because if the water's like, coming up above your ankles pretty much consistently. So it's that kind of situation. And it's not a warm shower. It's kind of a cold shower, but a shower full of other people too, which is lovely, right? So you're in this situation for an hour. Everything's wet. Your phone's wet. Your wallet's wet. You're all this because you gave your umbrella away. Like, you had this one tool. Like, it would have even been like if he had said to me, Jason, I'm going to walk this person up to the front of the park with my umbrella. Can you come pick me up when you're finished? Like, can you just come get me the front of Epcot? I would have thought to myself, I don't want to do that. Well, I would have done it.
Couching this as if he had only done this, then I still would have told him.
I would have said no. I wouldn't have said no. I just would have been like, seriously? This is what we're doing? Why am I rescuing this person in the way? Like,
you were supposed to rescue me.
Right. So all this happens, and we get back to, and he goes from he goes from having a popcorn bucket. He found like some popcorn bucket that he could use. It was like abandoned. People were abandoning all sorts of things. It was really amazing. Abandoned strollers, abandoned popcorn. Who abandons a popcorn bucket? You know, people spend good money on that kind of the refillable buckets.
Yeah, I know. They're like, what, $30 or something?
That's not cheap. He's using it to like,
as a hat?
To catch the rain from hitting his head. Like, he's... and it's not real effective because it's already wet. And so then we get to Japan and we get to the overhang.
It's not one of those Figment buckets, is it?
No, that would be worth... Yeah, I'd drop my umbrella for that. Maybe not. Actually, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. See the Figment buckets floating down the river. We get to Katsura Grill, the overhang area, which I love to protect. It's a great spot to sit in the rain, but you get protected from the rain. You're outside. It's really nice. People don't know about it, really. And we get there, and there's a tray that somebody left with like 2 empty drink cups. And he moves the drink cups up. He's like, He's like, is it wrong for me to take this tray? And he's asking me, is it okay if I take this tray, like, to use?
To keep the
again, I'm reminded of how schmucky I look at this point. For
he's using a tray, and you've got your enormous golf tournament umbrella.
I've got a 6-foot wide golf umbrella And he's got a tray, a plastic tray.
That he found.
So, yeah. So we do all this. We finally get back to the boardwalk, close out the show. I look over at him, and he's literally shivering. He's shivering. He's got hypothermia because it's air conditioned in there, and he's wet. I mean, he is completely wet, and and I said to him, "I think they have towels." Like, dry towels, which they did. They did.
Good.
Yeah. So that was that. I think for me the lesson is, look, people. It's okay. There's that story of the guy. There's a guy on a beach. This is not the footprints. This is a different thing. The guy on this beach, and he comes across. He's walking down the beach, and he comes across another dude on the beach who is like, well, he's like, he sees him in the distance. He's like picking something off the beach and throwing something back into the ocean. And then he walks a little bit further, and he like bends down, picks something up, and throws it in the ocean. And he comes up to the guy, and he sees what he's doing. There's starfish in the beach, like kind of beached, a little bit. And he's picking them up, and he's tossing them back into the ocean so that they don't dry out and die, right? Somehow they got all washed up. And the guy says, "What are you doing?" Like, he's on, like, throwing starfish out. He's like, well, you can't save all of these. Like, you can't make it. And he as he said, like, as the guy tells him this, he's throwing this other one back into the ocean, and he says, "Save that one." And I think that's the mentality that Zach has, right? Like, I made a difference for this person, and it's meaningful, and that's the right thing to do. But if in this story, when the person throws the starfish also takes a finger with it, I don't think you should feel the same way. Like, I think you have to say, like, oh, if I keep throwing the starfish in, I'm not going to have my hand anymore.
I don't know that it's that severe.
And maybe I should hold on to my hand. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, maybe it's just maybe I should just not worry about it.
I think, and you saw Zach today, if I remember correctly. I saw the video this afternoon. Yeah. And did he appear dry?
He's dry now.
Okay. Yeah. So, he's fine. He's still got his fingers.
He tried. He does. He's down an umbrella.
Well, I mean, we don't even know the story behind that umbrella. That umbrella may have been a very painful relic of
he think he was trying to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well, I feel he should have led with that then.
Well, like, then that puts the person in the wheelchair in a very awkward spot. It's like, do you like this umbrella? I hate it, but I want you to have it.
You don't say that, no. But if when he came back, if I had said to him, "Did you give that guy your umbrella?" And if saying like yes, if he had said, "I didn't," I hated
the curse is finally lifted.
That would have been great. Like, yes, okay, now I'm with you. All right, yes. I've been trying to get rid of that stinking umbrella for years.
I got it from that creepy shop in North.
But the rule was I had to give it to somebody who needed it more than I did in an act of rain.
Yes. Now maybe I couldn't just donate it. Leave me alone.
Right. Otherwise, no one would take it. Would you like an umbrella? What's wrong with your umbrella?
You can't umbrella, you have to win it in battle.